Impactivism. Do good, know truth, be fearless. A good example of this is Paul. When Paul saw that Peter wasn't sharing the gospel with the Gentiles, that he was keeping it to the Jews, he realized that he needed to make an impact. He knew that he needed to make sure that everyone knew the truth. He knew it was up to him to make sure that the Gentiles and the rest of the world were told that Jesus didn't just die on the cross for the Jews, but he died for everyone. That's why Paul wrote in Romans 1:16, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth." Paul wanted everyone to know that Jesus made an impact on him and that Jesus was the way, the truth, and the life for all. Not just a few of us. Paul wanted to make sure that he made an impact on everyone that he could. He went to Peter, who was one of the original disciples. He made an impact on him, and in turn all of us by letting Peter know that the gospel was not meant for just a certain group. He was making sure that he had the chance to know the truth. From that day on the road to Damascus, he made sure that he told everyone he could about Jesus. He didn't mince words, he didn't sugarcoat it. If they didn't know Jesus, he told them about it. If they were doing wrong, he let them know. He was fearless in his pursuit of the Great Commission. He told people in person, he wrote letters, he did whatever he had to do to reach as many souls as he could. And that's what we're called to do here today. We need to make sure that everyone knows the truth. We need to make our own impact on society. There's so many false religions going around right now. For instance, just this past year, the Mayans said the world would end on a certain day, and people believed it because they didn't know the truth. We need to go back to being the Christians we should be and make sure that we make an impact on everyone we come in contact with. We need to let them know that Jesus loves all of them, not just certain people. That he'll forgive them of anything if they just ask. That's our job. That's the whole reason we're here. And we need to get back to what we're called to do. Paul also took young ministers and gave them inspiration. He not only did good by mentoring Timothy, but he showed Timothy how to be fearless. He did good because he mentored a minister that most would have overlooked. Timothy was young, sickly, and small in stature. And some would say he was too young or that he didn't have what it took to be a minister. And Paul saw the good in him and impacted his whole life. Paul let him know that there was something that he could do even though he was young. That he could impact society even though it didn't look like he was strong enough to make it. Some of us need to realize that no matter the circumstances we face, if we're too young, too small, sickly, come from the wrong side of town, or don't come from the right family, we can still make a difference. We can still make an impact no matter who we are or what we do. Philippians 4:13 says, "For I know I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." And there's still something we can do. Not only did Paul do all of that, but he also made Timothy fearless. How do you say? He told Timothy that he shouldn't worry about what others say or do to you. He told him to live his life and to let his life shine. How did he do that? Timothy learned from the example Paul gave him. In 2 Corinthians 11:23-27, it says that Paul had been beat 5 times with whips, 3 times with rods, and he was stoned. Had been in prison several times, shipwrecked, yet he was still fearless. He learned to overcome those circumstances. He didn't let the thought of what people would say or do, or what might happen to him, let it keep him from witnessing to others. If we would do today what Paul did in his day and relentlessly pursue lost souls, the impact would be immense. Romans 8:28 says, "For we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God." That means there's good in everything. And sometimes we have to look for it. There's good in all of us. We just have to realize that God is in control. It's time for us to make an impact on this world and change it. It's no longer up to the generation that was before me. It's the generation I'm in and the generation I'm speaking to today. It's time to make a difference. It's all about souls. And how do you win souls? By making an impact. Do good, know truth, be fearless. Thank you.